Hi there. The circle of fifths is one of the most sensational compositional tools ever created. And the good news is it's right here inside a Cubase Pro. So in this video, I'm going to break down the circle of fifths and just show you how easy it is to write music using this tool. Let's get into it. This is a very basic Cubase project. I've got a chord track and I've also got Halion Sonic SE. Now I'm just entering some X's, which are basically places for chords to go. I'm double clicking on them and I've got the circle of fifth menu up. Now right up the top we've got C, which is the first chord in a scale. Next is D, which is a second. E minor is the third, and so on. Basically, if you put your fingers on a keyboard and play 1, 3, 5 and go the whole way up a C major chord, these are the chords that you're going to get. So they're numbered from 1 up to 7. Now, the other thing about the circle of fifths is there's relative majors and minors. So C, A minor, G, E minor, D, B minor. Now that just means they both share exactly the same key signature. So there's the same amount of sharps or the same amount of flats. That's one of the really clever things about how it's arranged. But really, the circle of fifths is a relationship between fifths. So if you start at C and count up to 5, you get G, and then D, and then A. Now you can use the arrows to change the key of whatever track or composition you're working in. So you don't need to be locked into a particular key. Have a listen to this. No Woman, No Cry. Let It Be. There's over 50 songs that have been smash hits that use that one chord combination. What about this? It's the world's greatest wedding song, Parker Bell's Canon. But you can go outside the triangle. How many times have you heard that at the end of a song? Another huge chord progression. And of course, we've got the chords for the blues sitting right there inside of this top triangle. The idea is the closeness and proximity also means there's a good relationship between these chords, which kind of works and sounds good to us, especially in Western pop and classical music. There's no rules, you can go outside of the triangle. You also don't have to use C as your first chord. So you can choose any number of these chords to use as your first chord and go back to C. I've witnessed some pretty fierce arguments over whether the first minor chord should be called number 1. A lot of people believe it's the relative major that should always be 1. But if you're that way inclined, you can change over and use the minor setting. And you just change backwards and forwards using this button. The circle of fifths is not just in the chord track. Down the bottom, you can go to the chord pad in the lower zone and click on this button, and now you can see the circle of fifths there. We can drag chords down from the circle of fifths onto these pads, and the whole idea of chord pads is you use the one pad to trigger a number of different chords. And you can hit record and record your timing playing these chords straight into your project. So it's great for people that don't really play a piano. Make sure the record enable button's on the track that you want to use the chord pads for. Use the handles on the right to change the actual inversions, and the handles down the bottom to change the chord color. Now there's one thing I haven't shown you, how to actually use the circle of fifths to create a chord progression. We'll just use your cursor keys on the keyboard and double click on the chord you want to add. Thanks for taking the time to stop by. Jump onto our Cubase YouTube channel and subscribe for plenty more videos like this. I'll see you there.
So I won't stop. First we fall.